We are looking forward to getting back out there tomorrow night against Wisconsin, Green Bay. You know, uh, Green Bay is going to challenge us in some different ways. You know, when you schedule, you want to see different styles of play. You know, Lipscomb was going to play a little bit slower. Princeton offense. You know, Green Bay is going to be more up tempo. They're the number one fastest team in the country on the offensive end. So they're going to take quick shots. They're going to push the ball after misses, after makes. They're going to play a lot of one-on-one. They got some really talented guards, and Amari Davis, who's a freshman from right here in Dayton, Ohio, who's leading them in scoring. McLeod is a tremendous playmaker for them. So we're going to get tested. We got to really be able to guard the ball, keep the floor extremely tight. Our transition defense has to be a lot better than it was in the Lipscomb game, and then want to continue to see progress on the offensive end as far as just our execution and taking care of the ball. But we're looking forward to getting back out there.
What would you say progress would be in transition defense against this team?
I think stop gambling. You know, Q and Najee kept on gambling in transition against Lipscomb. You know, it happened a couple times where they tried to, I call it the old AAU defense. It's like they try to slap from behind. It's like, you know, who does that? You know, like no, that doesn't win at this level. You know, we showed all the film to our guys, and we worked really, really hard on transition defense yesterday. We're going to work on it really, really hard again today, because a team has to be able to play against our half-court defense. And that's our whole goal in transition defense, is make them run their half-court offense.
As Kiki and Daniel get their legs under them and get their wind back, how do you think this will affect your rotation in minutes per game overall with all the guys?
Yeah, I mean, it changes it. You know, anytime you add a couple guys to your rotation, you got to figure out your rhythm, what lineups kind of work together, what lineups don't, and those numbers will be figured out kind of over time, Shannon, like with Kiki and Daniel kind of back in the fold. But you know, again, I tell those guys, practice will determine playing time for guys. You know, and the better you practice, the more productive you are in practice, the more I trust you, and then the more you're going to play. And you know, so I want to, again, we got to figure that out a little bit. You know, I didn't think we did a great job subbing last game. I didn't like some of the lineups that we had in there. We have to, again, we talked about it as a staff, trying to figure out, again, kind of how the patterns, at least early on in the game. And then from there, it's about who's playing well, right? You know, if somebody's not playing well or not doing what I want, then we'll take them out and sub them, you know. But hopefully we can get more into a little bit of a pattern here as we kind of figure out our rotations.
When you're playing a team that you know likes to shoot it really quickly, like Green Bay does, is the simple, like kind of the easy goal to say, hey, we want these guys to force them late into the shot clock where they might be uncomfortable?
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen with Green Bay, as crazy as it is. I mean, they take quick ones, and they're aggressive, and Coach Darner does a great job of giving those guys confidence. We have to make them earn them, though. They got to be tough shots. I just want to see contested shots. They're going to take mid-range shots. They're going to take threes. Like I said, we have to, like, every time a Green Bay guy catches the ball on offense, he should see all 5 sets of eyes on him. Like, he should see gaps filled. It should never be one-on-one. It should be one-on-3. We should have both gaps filled at all times. And they have to score against our team, not against us individually.
Obviously, we're quite aware of Kiki's abilities as a basketball player, but even as a freshman, what does he bring to this team in terms of intangibles, in terms of leadership and character?
You know, the leadership piece, he's got a ways to go. He's quiet by nature, and he's still trying to figure out the difference between up and down, right? Like, he doesn't know completely what's going on out there yet. And the more comfortable you get in knowing what you're doing, then you can help explain and talk a little bit more. But, you know, he is a great kid. He works really hard. He really, really cares. He wants to play. He wants to win. You know, he'd tell me before every game, Coach, I really want to play. He said, I really want to be out there. He said, I feel like I'm letting the team down. I said, no, you're not letting the team down. It's just, I said, Doc said you're not cleared yet. I mean, it's just as simple as that. But he means really well. He wants to play to win, which, you know, gives him a chance because he cares, and he'll spend a lot of extra time in the gym working on his game.
Jason Carter was out shooting as soon as the Lipscomb game was over, and he came back after Florida and was shooting around. Is he like a gym rat that's always doing this kind of stuff that you've known so far?
He works really hard. You know, he gets up every morning and shoots every morning at 8 a.m. And he's got a class schedule that allows that, right? He's in grad school, you know. But he, he spends a lot of time in there, but I think he's been frustrated, Shane, a little bit with his play. Again, just to be honest, I think that Jason is much better than he's played. And, I met today with him and showed him film of the Lipscomb game. I said, hey, you're shooting the ball well from the perimeter. He's got to get his feet always ready. His feet aren't always ready to shoot. But he gets frustrated. He's frustrated with his finish. I said, hey, if you made 2 or 3 of those layups, then you're going to probably look at the stat sheet and say, hey, I had a heck of a game. He's just got to stop pressing and just play at his own pace. He's a great player. I have all the belief in the world in Jason. It's going to come for him. And again, sometimes as coaches, players, including himself, fans, everybody, you want it now. And again, still, again, people forget he was out for a full month. He didn't practice for 30 days. And it takes some time to get it back. It does. And he'll get back there sooner rather than later, that's for sure.
In the time you've been at Xavier, who are some other guys that would get back in the gym right after a game to shoot around or to get better?
Tu Holloway probably comes to mind. He'd be that guy that, he'd be in here. If he didn't play well on the road, he'd be in the gym that night when we get back at 3 a.m., from a road trip. He was a guy that it bothered him. And you want it to bother the person, right? You want somebody who cares and wants to. Again, the only way to get out of a funk is to work your way out of a funk. I always say, a lot of times they say, hey, coaches give players confidence. And they do to a certain extent, but that confidence is earned through your work, through repetition, through your habits, seeing the ball go in. And he spends a lot of time in the gym.
I think I noticed Zach Freemantle after maybe game 2, he grabbed the manager and went over to the Aux gym after a ball game. Does he have that type of work ethic?
Yeah, I think Zach's probably in the gym as much or more than anybody on our team. Zach, he's obviously off to a great start here at Xavier. He's been as good as a freshman big as I can remember us having since I've been here, as far as productivity. But like what bodes really well for Zach in the future, he loves ball. He lives it. He just does. He loves to compete. He'll be in the gym all the time. He shoots all the time. And that's something part of the game he's really working on. And again, I told him it's about sometimes looking long term, not just so short sighted. Zach's going to be a tremendous player because of his work ethic.
Regarding Jason Carter, it seems like he gets open looks from right wing, left wing, wherever he is, and he's passing up those shots, and he's deadly in practice.
Yeah, he's got to be ready to shoot. I think that's his feet. His feet aren't always ready, and whether he's picking and popping or he's spaced out over there, I think you're 1,000% right. He's got to be aggressive. He's shooting the ball well from 3. I think he's shooting almost 30, maybe 36. A little bit over 36 from 3, almost 37. But he's got to get a few more up. That's for sure. But he's got to be ready to do that. And then I think, around the rim, he's just, like I said, he's just got to slow down a little bit and not press on his finishes. And I think all of a sudden he'll see his field goal percentage go way up.
Regarding Green Bay, they score 83 points a game. I look at their stats. They're not shooting a great percentage from 3. They're not shooting a great percentage from the free throw line. They're outscored from the free throw. How do they get to 83?
They got a lot of possessions. And again, they're the fastest team in the country. Sometimes I always say, like, points per game, it can be misleading. It's all about your points per possession, right? That efficiency. But they're going to get them up quick, and they're going to play fast, and they get a lot of points in transition. They got some guys that are capable. Like McLeod, I think, hit 8 threes in the last 2 games. Like, he can get really hot. They got guys that are capable, but they get to the rim a lot. And again, they drive the ball really hard. They got really good one-on-one players, isolation guys that can beat their man. We have to dominate. Told our guys we have to be able to dominate that first dribble when they start going one-on-one. And if you can dominate the first dribble, it's like the line of scrimmage, then you've won that battle. If you get whipped in the first dribble, then you're done. Doesn't matter if we're in our gaps or not, really. You got to be able to dominate the first dribble on the line of scrimmage when they drive it.
They've played at Purdue and Wisconsin. I assume you're not. They're not going to be awed by this.
No, again, he does a great. Number one, Link Darner does a great job. He's a terrific coach. They got good, talented players, like you said. They played at Wisconsin. They played at Purdue. This isn't the first road game for them this year. We're going to get their best. I know that, and we got to be ready to go.
you know, you play Green Bay tomorrow. I'm curious, at what point do you say, I'm turning off the film. I've watched all of Green Bay that I need to watch. Like, will you watch film on them all tonight with the
Yeah.
game tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah. You know, again, I've watched every game they've had this year so far, but probably just to tighten it up a little bit more. Yeah, you know, we'll keep on working on Green Bay. There might be something you can pick out of the film that may help us tomorrow. You know, so you know we're all in on that game.
You've been at Xavier for a long time. Is it something you have to mention to don't look ahead to what's coming up on Saturday, or is it just you just keep the focus on Green Bay and it's a foregone
Yeah.
conclusion?
You know, I obviously mentioned to her again. It's like the elephant in the room, right? You know, it's like obviously we got a huge game Saturday, but the big game for us right now is tomorrow night, right, against Green Bay. We got to prepare like that's the last game of the season. You know, so again, just trying to keep our guys locked in as best as possible. Which our guys have been really good. They had a really good practice yesterday. You know, getting ready for Green Bay.
To kind of piggyback on that, Coach, you look at the schedule and it really picks up with big games and brand names here as the month goes out. You look at the team right now, 8 games into it, and as you start to crank it up with harder competition, do you like where the team is? Kind of where do you assess where the team is after 8 games?
You know, we're 7-1, obviously, but I don't like where we're at, and we all want more, right? You know, at the same time, understand that I guess it's early December now. It's not November anymore. But you know, I want to see progress with our team. And we got to get a heck of a lot better. We have to take care of the ball better. Our decision-making's got to be a heck of a lot better. Our execution's got to be better on the offensive end. You know, I think that's where I want to see a lot of progress, Joe. And I think the other area is just defensively, I want it for 40 minutes every single game. I don't care who we play, where it's at. I don't care if we're down by 20, we're up by 20. I do not care. Like, we have to play to our identity, and if we don't do that, then we'll severely underachieve. And I think the balance that I'm having to find is, yeah, we want to get better at offense, right? But at the same time, I know what our identity needs to be. So there's that fine line that you're teetering all the time as a coach. It's like you want to spend a lot of time on offense, but we got to spend a lot of time on defense. Because if you're not great at anything, then you have no shot. You have to be able to hang your hat on something. And I think what's given us a chance to win so far early this year, other than the Florida game, and other than a little bit of Lipscomb as well, I didn't think we played real hard, is our defense. And that was pretty consistent for the first 6 games of the year. And that has to be a constant for us moving forward.
Is the team aware that you're not happy with how they're playing?
Yeah, they are. You know, we show a lot of film, and they know we have a lot of areas to get better at. We're fortunate to be where we are, 7-1. I mean, you know, Najee made a couple tough shots at the end of games. Now we executed those plays, but at the same time, like, I don't think those games we shouldn't have been put in those positions. And if we take care of business during, you know, possessions 20 through 40, right? You know, seems like we go through these lulls throughout the game where it's just careless with the ball, careless with our shot taking, which I did think it was better against Lipscomb, but it's not where I want it to be. You know, so we got to see progress in those areas for us moving forward because, like you said, we got a big stretch coming up. I mean, Green Bay's good. Obviously, you got UC. You got Wake Forest, you got TCU, you got Western Carolina. This is a big stretch for us, and our guys know that. And they know, hey, rather than just being focused on each opponent, it's just about us. Are we getting better? It's about our quality of play. It's about our standards, not necessarily whether we won or lost. They know if we reach our standards, then guess what? We're going to probably get the result that we want. Thanks.